Leaving the zero-hour market, Xiao cautiously made his way deeper into Soul Valley. The interior of Soul Valley was treacherous, filled with barren mountains and dense forests, with abundant vegetation spreading throughout. Soul beasts occasionally appeared in the shadows, their formidable strength adding to the peril. On top of this, the peculiar pinkish glow that permeated the valley made it extraordinarily dangerous. At this moment, the lovesick tree had not yet fully manifested. Only a faint pinkish glow surrounded it, and the tree itself stood at the core of Soul Valley, shrouded in that glow. Xiao. Upon leaving the zero-hour market and arriving at the edge of Soul Valley, Xiao lost the protection of the market. The faint pinkish glow fell on him, and he immediately felt a strange itch rising from his heart. This itch was extraordinarily difficult to resolve. Neither his spiritual power, soul energy, nor Do Qi could alleviate it. Xiao vaguely realized that the closer he got to the core of Soul Valley, the stronger this pink glow became, intensifying the strange itch. The sensation was nearly unbearable, like being torn apart by blades, yet it evaded all attempts to suppress it. Damn it! After struggling fruitlessly for a while, Xiao shook his head and muttered in frustration. Despite the discomfort, he forced himself to endure it, pushing through the dense forest towards the depths of the valley. Be careful, little one. This is likely a defensive measure set by the lovesick tree to protect itself. The power of lovesickness is highly peculiar, and even I do not know how to counteract it, the devourer of souls remarked after a moment. This strange itch is truly bizarre, utterly impossible to resolve. If we approach the core of Soul Valley at this rate, I might succumb to this itch alone. I'll have to find a way, Xiao thought to himself, shaking his head at the uniqueness of this power of lovesickness, encountering it for the first time. Buzz buzz. Moments later, the sacred flame heart in Xiao chest seemed to sense his suffering and began to throb violently. A gentle force gradually emerged from it, soothing the torment he was enduring. Glowing! Xiao hands slowly pressed against his chest as he felt a wave of relief. A faint smile emerged on his face. Strangely, as the sacred flame heart emitted its peculiar energy, the abnormality within Xiao gradually weakened and eventually disappeared. The sacred flame heart's power even brought to his mind a playful image of Ying's face, unbidden. Whoosh! Suddenly, the sound of something slicing through the air erupted from the concealed trees in the distance, speeding towards Xiao. Who's there? Come out! Xiao brilliant spiritual power transformed into an enormous energy serpent, roaring as it swept across the surroundings. Clatter! As soon as the spiritual power struck, a graceful figure emerged from the shadows. As expected, it's an immortal realm-level soul. The woman withdrew her attack as soon as she appeared, smiling at Xiao. Song Lanfeng of the Foreign Soul Abyss? Xiao brows furrowed. Evidently, this woman had recently clashed with him over a peculiar leaf and was now launching another attack. Her intentions were undoubtedly hostile. Xiao entire body tensed, wary of her every move. As a disciple of the Foreign Soul Abyss, a dominant force in the central region, her abilities were certainly formidable. You're Xiao, right? Don't misunderstand. I'm not your enemy. In fact, I have a proposition that might interest you. Would you like to collaborate? Song Lanfeng's captivating gaze fell on Xiao as she spoke softly. A proposition? Let's hear it. Xiao nodded cautiously. Song Lanfeng's spiritual power was immensely strong, and her cultivation had reached the mid-stage of 4-star Do Xian, making her a formidable opponent. The lovesick tree is about to appear. Earth Hall has been barred from participating in this contest, leaving only the 4 major forces of the central region holding dominance. Other factions face tremendous difficulty accessing the location where the lovesick tree will descend. To put it bluntly, apart from experts from our 4 major forces, other cultivators have almost no chance of entering the depths of Soul Valley to approach the lovesick tree, Song Lanfeng said with a sly smile. And then? Xiao asked. If Song Lanfeng had come merely to show off, then she was looking for the wrong person. The core of Soul Valley is where the lovesick tree will manifest. While it hasn't fully descended, the strange power of lovesickness has already deterred most cultivators. coupled with our 4 factions. Interventions. Only those from our forces can currently enter the valley's depths. There is, however, a peculiar river in the heart of Soul Valley. The river is highly mysterious. No one can set foot in it or bypass it using conventional means like subterranean movement. If you're willing, I can take you straight to the edge of the lovesick tree. In exchange, you must help me decipher that strange river. As for ownership of the tree, it will depend on our abilities. After a moment, Song Lanfeng smiled faintly. No problem. Lead the way, miss. Xiao was overjoyed upon hearing this. After all, in this Soul Valley, the power of lovesickness amplified the strength of the soul beasts. Wandering aimlessly here alone might waste precious time. Moreover, the experts of the 4 great factions had likely already cleared a path to the depths of Soul Valley. Saving time and effort, why not take advantage of it? Let me warn you in advance, don't try anything clever. The lovesick tree belongs to us of the foreign soul abyss. As soon as she finished speaking, Song Lanfeng transformed into a streak of light and darted toward the depths of Soul Valley. Xiao followed closely, noticing along the way that Song Lanfeng's route skillfully avoided many of the formidable soul beasts within Soul Valley. Thus, they quickly reached the core of the valley. Soul Valley Core. 3 figures already stood there. Each of the 3 men stood firmly on the ground, their gazes fixed on a hovering pink light cluster not far away. Within the light cluster, the power of lovesickness surged even more intensely. In front of them lay a flat plain, about 100 meters in diameter. However, a circular river completely isolated the heart of the plain. Above the land enclosed by the river floated the pink light cluster. The lovesick tree. Xiao and Song Lanfeng arrived, and Xiao couldn't help but mutter as he saw it. Xiao understood that the so-called lovesick tree was undoubtedly within that pink light cluster. However, before the tree could fully descend, they needed to resolve the flat land and the mysterious river surrounding it. Lanfeng. Who is this? A moment later, as Song Lanfeng and Xiao stepped onto the plain, a tall, sharp-featured man with a massive meteor hammer strapped to his back turned his head slightly and asked. Although Xiao strength seemed modest, his presence gave off an unsettling chill, hinting that he was no ordinary individual. This is Xiao, Song Lanfeng replied casually, as if introducing an ordinary collaborator without any special implications. Xiao. As soon as she spoke, another man, Qi Ziwen, withdrew his cold gaze from the pink light cluster. His expression instantly filled with hatred as he glared venomously at Xiao. This guy, could he be with the Azure Cloud Pavilion? Xiao frowned, sensing a distinct hostility from Qi Ziwen, reminiscent of Qing Yunkuan and his ilk. Qi Ziwen. Xiao is here at my invitation to assist in dealing with the strange river. If you harm him, you'll be opposing the foreign soul abyss. Think carefully about the consequences. Seeing Qi Ziwen's predatory gaze, Song Lanfeng's eyes flickered as she spoke. She was well aware of the animosity between Xiao and the Azure Cloud Pavilion, a sect backed by the Blood Flame Cave. Xiao actions against the pavilion naturally enraged their hidden allies. Qi Ziwen snorted coldly, shifting his gaze. He knew this wasn't the time for personal grudges. The priority now was solving the mysterious river and facilitating the lovesick tree's descent. Other matters could wait. These 4 individuals represented the top talents of the younger generation in the central region. Although they were only at the mid-stage of 4-star Doxian, many late 4-star Doxian veterans had met their demise at their hands. The news of the lovesick tree had drawn countless disciples from across the central region, only to be forcibly driven away by these 4 using their superior strength. With the backing of their factions, other experts could only suffer in silence, resorting to searching the periphery for whatever they could find. Despite driving away most competitors, the flat plain surrounding the lovesick tree's light cluster posed a significant challenge to the 4 prodigies. To unlock the tree's secrets and bring it fully into this realm, they needed to channel its power directly. However, the circular river isolating the light cluster thwarted all their attempts to get closer. The river's peculiar nature rendered even their considerable strength useless. This guy is merely at the late stage of 3-star Doxian. What can he possibly do? A moment later, Qi Ziwen couldn't help but sneer. "Shut your mouth," Song Lanfeng retorted coldly. Although Xiao Yan's strength was indeed lacking, his spiritual power was exceptionally formidable. As long as the peculiar river could be dealt with, Song Lanfeng clearly didn't mind protecting him. "What's so strange about this river?" Xiao Yan ignored Qi Ziwen and instead turned to ask Song Lanfeng beside him. "This river seems to contain something that can devour everything. Many treasure hunters have attempted to fly over or burrow beneath it to reach the small island at its center, but as soon as they made contact with the river, they were utterly obliterated, reduced to nothing, not even leaving behind their soul power. Flyers plummeted directly, and burrowers were instantly submerged," Song Lanfeng explained with a frown. Despite her formidable spiritual power, she could sense something unusual but couldn't pinpoint its source. "Let me take a look," Xiao Yan said as he approached the riverbank slowly. The river formed a circular shape, completely encircling the small island about 10 meters across in its center. The water was exceptionally clear, but appeared to have no discernible bottom. "What's so unusual about this?" Xiao Yan muttered, crouching down cautiously. Wrapping himself in a protective cocoon of dazzling spiritual power, he leaned his ear close to the water's surface, trying to discern any anomalies. Boom, boom, boom. As soon as his ear neared the water, without touching it, thunderous sounds roared in his ears. Startled, Xiao Yan straightened up abruptly. Just as he moved away from the surface, he caught sight of tiny crystal-like particles floating on the water. The thunderous noise instantly ceased. "Interesting," Xiao Yan murmured with a faint smile as he seemed to grasp something. "Any findings?" Song Lanfeng asked, unable to suppress her curiosity. Their group had thoroughly investigated the river but found no other clues besides its incredible depth of about 100 meters. "This river cannot be tackled with brute force. It requires strategy," Xiao Yan remarked, a mischievous smile forming at the corner of his mouth. "I'll need the assistance of someone proficient in fire attributes," he added after a pause, fixing his gaze on Qi Ziwen with an unsettling grin. "You brat, are you courting death?" Qi Ziwen roared, his fury evident. It was clear that Xiao Yan was seeking revenge under the guise of collaboration. "My late-stage 3-star Docian strength can't handle that creature. Surely your mid-stage 4-star Docian abilities aren't inferior to mine, are they?" Xiao Yan retorted. "What creature?" Hu Tianyuan, who had been listening quietly, asked in confusion. They had scoured the river with all their might and found nothing. "Humph! What do you need me to do?" Qi Ziwen snorted, but reluctantly stepped forward. "There's a soul beast hidden in the river. We need to use a combination of firepower and spiritual energy to force it out," Xiao Yan explained while staring intently at the flowing waters. "You'd better not be deceiving us. With 4 strong experts here, even if you had wings, you wouldn't escape alive," Qi Ziwen sneered. "Let's begin. Remember to give it your all. Hold nothing back," Xiao Yan instructed. He closed his eyes, concentrating deeply. Threads of peculiar spiritual energy emerged from his Naiwen palace, merging with the fiery Doqi emanating from his body. The two energies intertwined and gradually seeped into the water. As Xiao Yan performed his maneuver, the previously calm river began to exhibit subtle yet profound changes. 1 minute, 5 minutes, 15 minutes. The place remained eerily silent, save for the beads of sweat forming on Xiao Yan's forehead. "Is this brat playing games with us?" Qi Ziwen grumbled, unable to hold back any longer. "Shush." Song Lanfeng's beautiful eyes remained fixed on the river. Something within seemed to be drawn toward Xiao Yan, moving rapidly. Rumble. Just as Qi Ziwen spoke, the river, once crystal clear, suddenly turned murky. Massive bubbles erupted from its depths, releasing an overwhelming stench of decaying bones into the air. Splash! With a deafening crash, the water surged upward, and a colossal figure emerged from the depths. Now! Xiao Yan, drenched in sweat, retreated hastily. His aura was utterly depleted, leaving him visibly weakened. After luring the creature out, Xiao Yan cunningly left the heavy lifting to the 4 mid-stage, 4-star Docian experts. Splash! As the water ripples subsided, the full appearance of the soul beast finally emerged before everyone's eyes. A crystal essence-devouring beast? The only quiet man among the four, clearly astonished, spoke up. This man was none other than Kongan from the Icefire Mansion, a warrior wielding the combined powers of ice and water attributes with formidable combat strength. What a creature! It's actually a soul beast capable of rivaling a late 4-star Docian. Let's take it down together. Song Lanfeng glanced at Xiao, who had drawn out the beast but appeared weak and exhausted. Whether it was real or a ruse didn't matter to her. She immediately rallied the group to attack Xiao, knowing that defeating the beast would render Xiao useless, and the lovesick tree would fall into their hands. The crystal essence-devouring beast, a mutated soul beast of exceptional uniqueness, typically disguises itself as imperceptibly small grains of sand floating on the surface of rivers. Only powerful soul energy and scorching flames could force it to reveal its form. It thrived on devouring human corpses and blood, significantly enhancing its strength. In its true form, the soul beast appeared as a collection of prismatic crystals, radiating dazzling light. Its body was irregularly layered like jagged crystal, with a strange and otherworldly appearance. Roar! The beast bellowed furiously from within its crystalline body, enraged that Xiao had exposed its disguise. It had relied on this ability to ambush and consume many powerful human warriors within the river, accumulating immense strength. Splash! Ice Fire Blade. Soul Heaven Hand. Blood Flame Heavenly Finger. Meteor Fist. Seeing the beast prepare to attack Xiao, the four instantly unleashed a torrent of powerful Doqi attacks imbued with terrifying killing intent, aiming to annihilate it completely. For top-tier experts truly live up to their reputation, Xiao observed while recovering his Doqi. Watching the battle closely, he noted how easily the four handled the crystal essence-devouring beast. Splash! The terrifying assaults of these four mid-stage, 4-star Docian experts surged forth. Yet even under this ferocious offensive, the crystal essence-devouring beast remained unyielding. Its prismatic body emitted a radiant glow, neutralizing the attacks. This beast has unbelievably strong defenses, Song Lanfeng remarked, her brows furrowing slightly. With her formidable soul energy, she sensed that their previous attacks had inflicted no substantial harm. Only soul power combined with flame attacks can defeat it. Xiao cold voice echoed from the distance. Defeating it is the only way to cross the river. Damn that brat! Qi Ziwen growled at Xiao in frustration. Among the four, only he wielded the scorching fire attribute, and only Song Lanfeng possessed strong soul power. However, expending too much energy on the crystal essence-devouring beast could jeopardize their ability to compete for the lovesick tree. Attack! Without hesitation, Song Lanfeng unleashed her soul energy like a tidal wave, directing it straight at the beast. Fire, come forth! Despite his grudge against Xiao Qi Ziwen had no choice but to join forces. Meanwhile, the other two remained still, observing the battle. That pink glow around the lovesick tree. Xiao glanced at the radiant pink aura hovering above the small island. He realized it was only a matter of time before the trio defeated the beast, so he turned his attention toward the tree. The pink glow, about several meters in size, radiated a fearsome power of lovesickness that even made Xiao uneasy. The other four clearly struggled to endure its overwhelming presence. Boom! Moments later, the crystal essence-devouring beast began to falter under the combined assault of Song Lanfeng and Qi Ziwen. Its defeat seemed imminent. Kill it. Don't let it escape back into the river, or it will be nearly impossible to lure it out again, Song Lanfeng shouted. Realizing it was outmatched, the beast thrashed about, attempting to flee toward the river. Not so fast. Heavenly Soul Melody. Song Lanfeng's eyes closed as a surge of her immense soul power transformed into an energy wave, blasting toward the beast. The melody, woven from soul energy, carried an inexplicable power. The moment it struck, the beast froze, its crystalline body dimming and its aura weakening drastically. Its movements grew sluggish. Gurgle, gurgle. At that moment, the crystal essence-devouring beast seemed overwhelmed by fear. Its brilliant glow dimmed, and within moments, it shrank into a palm-sized, rhombus-shaped crystal shard. Clearly, it had been subdued into this form. Phew. That should resolve the issue. Qi Ziwen snorted coldly as he gazed at the resplendent crystal shard. His eyes shifted once more to the pink light cluster ahead. With the strange river no longer blocking the way, the lovesick tree was now within easy reach. Everyone, the strange river is no longer an obstacle. As for who claims the lovesick tree, it'll depend on your skills. The moment he finished speaking, he didn't bother picking up the crystal shard. Instead, his figure darted forward like a phantom, crossing the river rapidly and heading straight for the small island at its center. Not good. Follow him. The other three individuals immediately surged forward at full speed, all racing toward the island simultaneously. Something feels off. Unlike the others, Xiao did not act rashly. He slowly grasped the radiant crystal shard in his palm, sensing gentle currents of energy flowing from it. Strangely, these streams of energy were subtly neutralizing the power of lovesickness within his body. Even as the other four pressed forward toward the pink light cluster, Xiao suddenly felt a profound sense of foreboding welling up from within. This ominous sensation seemed to emanate from the pink light cluster itself. Haha, the lovesick tree is mine. This journey for the lovesick tree ends here. Moments later, Qi Ziwen was the first to reach within a few meters of the pink light cluster. His gaze burned with desire as he stared at it, laughing uncontrollably. That light cluster, something's not right. And why is Xiao behaving so cautiously? While Qi Ziwen rushed ahead recklessly, the other three abruptly halted their advance, maintaining a cautious distance of 100 meters. Their expressions were tense with suspicion. Though they had entered this place through the strength of their factions, the peculiar itching caused by the power of lovesickness had significantly hindered their abilities. Heh! These fools are being limited by the strange effects of the power of lovesickness. So, obtaining the lovesick tree won't be so simple. Lovesick tree, descend. From a distance, still on the far side of the river, Xiao lips curled into a cryptic smile. His powerful spiritual energy detected faint fluctuations from the four others. Without hesitation, he crushed the rhombus-shaped shard of the crystal essence-devouring beast in his palm. Wait, not good. That fluctuation. Retreat. The instant Xiao shattered the crystal shard, the entire space around them grew chaotic. Threads of an immensely dangerous aura surged forth. What's happening? Calm down. Qi Ziwen, just meters from the pink light cluster, initially felt triumphant. However, as the light cluster began to tremble under the influence of Xiao actions, a deep sense of unease gripped him. Rumble. After a few breaths, the pink light cluster seemed to absorb some mysterious power. An invisible ripple of energy burst outward, spreading across the island. Rings of pink light emanated from the light cluster, cascading down to cover the entire island with ease. Buzz buzz. In an instant, the four individuals were overwhelmed by the unbearable itching caused by the power of lovesickness within their bodies, leaving them in agony. You little pest, what have you done? Forced to retreat, the four regrouped around Xiao. Though the itching subsided slightly in his proximity, Qi Ziwen's expression darkened with suspicion. Rumble. Even as they spoke, the small island surrounded by the river suddenly erupted with pink radiance, engulfing the entire landmass. The pink light cluster ultimately merged entirely with the island. Is that the power of lovesickness? Could this be the precursor to the lovesick tree's descent? Clutching his chest, Song Lanfeng struggled against the searing pain coursing through him. His voice trembled as he spoke. Rustle. The ground of the island heaved violently, and thick pink roots began to emerge from the pink light cluster, anchoring themselves into the earth. An even denser surge of the power of lovesickness erupted uncontrollably. This is the lovesick tree's descent. Fall back. Kong'an, suddenly realizing the truth, swiftly retreated. The pink light cluster concealed none other than the lovesick tree itself. Only by allowing it to descend completely could one hope to access its internal space. Otherwise, all efforts would be futile. However, the descent of the lovesick tree was said to unleash a terrifying protective force. Even these powerful figures dared not challenge it head-on. Rumble. In an instant, the island encased by the river was completely overtaken by a colossal form. The pink light cluster disappeared entirely, merging fully with the island. Lovesick tree? The five couldn't help but exclaim at the sight of the enormous tree before them, towering nearly 100 meters high. What met their eyes was an island within the river, its ground covered with pink roots. These roots radiated an overwhelming power that made the four hesitate to approach. Some roots plunged deep into the earth, seemingly extending hundreds of meters underground, while the main trunk was so thick that even 10 people together couldn't encircle it. At the base of the lovesick tree were the roots, and following these robust roots upward, one could see countless branches spreading in all directions. These branches were covered with a pink liquid that flowed slowly, as if continuously supplying energy to the tree. At the edges of the branches, clusters of pink leaves quietly emerged. Although these leaves appeared fragile, each one contained terrifying energy that even a 4-star Do Xian expert found daunting. At the center of the tree's immense pink canopy, something seemed to flicker faintly, emanating a sense of danger that made everyone feel uneasy. The pink leaves of the tree fluttered gently in the wind. At the same time, the motion of the leaves released waves of pink energy imbued with the potent power of lovesickness, forming ripples that shot toward the five present. Swish, swish. Among the five, only Xiao managed to temporarily resist the peculiar itch of the power of lovesickness using the sacred flame heart. The other four relied on their own strength to suppress it, but at such close range, the force seemed to resonate with the lovesick tree, shaking them to their core. By now, the power of lovesickness had seeped deep into their very marrow, causing excruciating pain that no amount of strength could suppress. What is the mystery of the lovesick tree? Xiao murmured to himself as he remained rooted in place, watching the four others retreat rapidly. His eyes were fixed intently on the ancient pink tree, his expression grave. Through his senses, Xiao confirmed that this was indeed the true lovesick tree. However, it was incredibly sturdy, and there seemed to be no way to access its interior. For now, he was at an impasse. Buzz buzz. Within a few breaths, an unusual pink halo completely enveloped Xiao. Yet just as it attempted to penetrate his body, it was absorbed by the sacred flame heart in his chest, which continued to repair and nourish the source of his sacred flame deep within his heart. This guy has some kind of treasure that blocks the power of lovesickness. Capture him! Exclaimed Qi Ziwen, who was visibly struggling under the power of lovesickness. The others, upon hearing this, gritted their teeth and endured the invasive force as they launched attacks toward Xiao. Wait, these pink leaves seem to resemble something I purchased before, said Lanfeng, shaking his head as he ignored the others' aggressive movements. He reached into his storage ring and took out a peculiar leaf he had bought. Rustle. As soon as the leaf appeared, it emitted a melodious sound and, to Lanfeng's surprise, flew out of his hand uncontrollably toward the enormous lovesick tree on the island. The tree trembled violently in response, releasing a terrifying wave of energy that felt like the wrath of heaven and earth. Boom! What's going on? Xiao, still dodging attacks from the three experts, momentarily froze in astonishment. Russell, what did you do, Lanfeng? The three paused mid-action, their attention drawn to the lovesick tree, which was now shaking violently. A pink halo emanated from the mysterious leaf Lanfeng had unleashed and surged toward the tree. With a soft plop, the mysterious leaf merged into the lovesick tree, yet nothing else happened. Could I have done something wrong? Lanfeng muttered after a few moments of silence. The only noticeable change was a significant reduction in the power of lovesickness, which no longer posed a threat to them. What's going on here? That mysterious leaf was supposed to unlock the lovesick tree. Why hasn't anything happened? Lanfeng said in disbelief. The leaf, which she had seen referenced in ancient scrolls, had cost her 1 billion gold coins to acquire. Wait. Xiao stood 100 meters away from the lovesick tree, outside the river. Gazing at the tree's towering canopy, he could sense an unusual intelligence emanating from within. The pink power of lovesickness carried an ancient and timeless aura that was difficult to ignore. What now? After a few minutes of silence, Kong-un was the first to break the quiet. We can't just leave empty-handed since we're here, he said. Let's work together to break through the lovesick tree. I refuse to believe that the combined strength of 4 mid-stage, 4-star Docian experts won't be enough to deal with it. Hu Tianyuan of the Meteor sect sneered coldly. Do it. With the barrier of the power of lovesickness now gone, the group ignored Xiao entirely. After all, his trifling 3-star Docian strength was hardly worth their notice. A deafening rumble followed as the 4 of them came to a decision. Terrifying energy surged from their bodies, brewing into overwhelming attacks. As Song Lanfeng infused the peculiar leaves with energy, the power of lovesickness visibly weakened. With their path clear, the 4 of them lost interest in Xiao altogether. Something's off. Xiao narrowed his eyes at the lovesick tree, standing still and quiet like any other ancient tree. Yet its immense roots hinted at a life spanning tens of thousands of years. It should have developed a wisdom of its own, so why was it so eerily silent? Moreover, the sacred flame within his body stirred faintly. This heat only emerged in the presence of another sacred flame. Yet the sensation was weak, unlike any sacred flame he had encountered before. He glanced at the still pink canopy above, and then at the 4 brewing their powerful attacks. Xiao shook his head, unconvinced. With a thunderous roar, their dazzling do-chi erupted in multicolored brilliance. The 4 energies merged into a terrifying pillar of energy, glowing with hues of 4 colors, before shooting directly at the lovesick tree. Let's see how you survive this. Qi Ziwen smirked as the 4-color energy beam hurtled towards the tree. No matter how ancient or powerful it was, he was confident that this attack would spell its end. The beam of energy, resembling a bolt of lightning, crossed the distance in a flash. In mere moments, it was upon the lovesick tree, on the brink of detonating. Just then, the lovesick tree, previously silent, suddenly moved. Its immense pink leaves and canopy trembled. A pink beam of light surged from the center of the canopy, effortlessly swallowing the 4-colored beam. How is this possible? Song Lanfeng's face darkened as he stared at the scene. It's not over. Kong An's expression grew grim. The 4-colored energy seemed to have been absorbed by the lovesick tree entirely. What is that? Seconds later, pink light began to swell from the canopy's center. Massive orbs of pink energy emerged, radiating a life force so intense that Xiao head snapped up in shock. The lovesick tree's island trembled violently as an indescribable energy rolled forth. Xiao could distinctly sense an overwhelming emotion emanating from the tree. Rage. Boundless, unrelenting rage. This wrath, emanating from the ancient tree, was palpable, sending chills through everyone present. The pink energy spheres within its canopy trembled, their movements eerily reminiscent of a beating human heart. These spheres, they're brimming with immense life force. Xiao muttered. Retreat. Song Lanfeng cried out, alarmed. She had clearly realized the abnormality of these orbs. But before the group could act, a pink energy beam enveloped the area within 1,000 meters, sealing them in completely. 1, 2, 5 energy spheres? Qi Ziwen's voice wavered as shock overtook him. It's too late. That attack must have provoked the lovesick tree. This pink energy seems to be some sort of formation. We can't escape it now, Kongan muttered, shaking his head. There's no choice left. As soon as the words were spoken, the 4 figures simultaneously floated midair, their gazes fixed intently on the eerie clusters of light beneath the shade of the lovesick tree. Under their watchful eyes, those clusters of light emitted waves of an unusually distinct energy. Thump, thump. Deep within the shade of the lovesick tree, 5 pink spheres of light began to pulsate violently. In an instant, they detached from the tree and slowly drifted into the void before the group. Crack! Moments later, the 5 spheres shattered completely, revealing 5 elderly figures, suddenly materializing in this realm amidst a pink halo. Gulp! Sensing the presence of these 5 powerful individuals, everyone's hearts grew heavy. Each of them radiated an extraordinary power of lovesickness, and their strength had reached the late 4-star Do Xian stage.